That's right. It's Potty. And
I'm Rye like the whiskey. This is the USFAPN. Let's go.
woo! That's right. We're here live and direct on the USFAPN to help overview the league of the USFA. And we are here with the...
That's right. We're here to help overview it. We want there to be too many views,
including ones over, so to have the bird's eye perspective. We ourselves come here as, experts in the Simulated Sports League.
SMEs.
Yes, exactly. And we are here to talk to you today about a few things, but let's start off with the Season 7 championship. We had the St. Louis Archers, 4th place, 8-6 record. They had won the championship in Season 3, took on the Tacoma Eruption, who had 3rd place, 9-5 record, and they had previously won in Season 1 and Season 5. And let me tell you, St. Louis corked the Eruption in a 37-10 bottled up blow up against Tacoma. Archers putting up 217 rushing yards, 199 passing yards, 416 total offensive yards. That's 4 yards shy of 420, but they threw down a 66% third down completion conversion rate with 5 tutties, 1 field goal, dwarfing the Eruption, who had 1 touchdown and 1 field goal.
Yeah, you might call it an offensive ejaculation. I'd call it an offensive eruption if the name was not already taken. And I think all the rumors of St. Louis moving to LA can be safely quashed with this big win.
I think so. It was an interesting bit if they were to take that step forward down the coast, but ultimately they didn't.
I've always wondered who pays for the rings.
Well, they are simulated. So
you probably got to pay in NFTs. Shout out to the commish.
Yeah. Or the Simsmiths.
And so, Potty, what do you think of the Archers' chances to repeat next year?
Pretty slim, I'd say.
Slim?
Yeah, like a quiver of arrows, few strike, but there's always a few broken strands. You're going to see retention issues. You're going to see long-term plays being made. I don't see it repeating, but I give them, it's the difference between accuracy and precision. One is the ability to strike at the center, the other being the ability to repeatedly strike at a place or position. I think that they lack the accuracy. I think this was a precision. They only won in the Season 3. I don't see it repeating next season.
And Tacoma coming out of 3rd place into the championship, did they prematurely erupt?
I think that it was like, I don't have a good volcano because I don't know too much, geologically. I did go to...
Got a chode volcano?
A St. Helens that blew the cap off, but and people died, so it was like a serious volcano.
R.I.P.
Yeah, so, shout out there. Anyways, the Eruption, yeah, I could see them coming back to compete. So, moving along, what we've got are a few plays of the game. So let's start us off. Number 1.
Touchdown pass that they missed on. They're going to hand it off again and going to take it to the right side. Big play. Namey McNamerson for the touchdown.
That's right. Namey McNamerson coming down with the touchdown.
Place to run here. They'll go basic with the halfback run.
Oh, look at that. Namey McNamerson again.
Some great names and some great celebrations.
Exactly. So let's see about number 3. This is a great play. I like this.
He's just been waiting patiently for his turn. And it's going to be another handoff. No, it's a fake on the run. Stands around, takes off the run. Will she get herself? Yes, she will. I think the GOAT says I want to touch.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, we were pantomiming our excitement. That was Rebecca.
That wasn't a pantomime. That was genuine.
Oh, genuine. Yeah, that was... Is that the cowboy song?
Pony.
Womp,
womp.
All right, coming up,
Mr.
number 4.
ATM Money Mills in Arizona. Handoff again. No, it's a fake. Montaigne's looking, middle of field and caught. There goes Danzel, cuts up, and a block by Namey gets him in once again. Touchdown.
Team celebration there
that
going
was
down
good.
almost?
Not the best one yet, but I remember there's a great celebration. But let's see here. I'll just narrate it. He misses the extra point,
Just like the Brent Skoma didn't expect.
Tough.
but later on,
Kick is going to be up here, and that
With,
actually looks pretty darn good to
I don't
me.
know, 40-yard field goal to 50-yard field goal.
Well, soccer fans out there are happy that you showed some kicks. I gotta say,
But I think it might just be for the team.
at halftime.
But I think it might just be for the team.
Yeah, I think so as well. But who didn't quit was the other team. The Eruption, they put down a touchdown as demonstrated here. And check this out.
Got the hill, needed the volcano.
Oh, they came back and squashed another. Oh, look at this dance. Oh, he's killing it. Oh, the Boldolero.
He might be on Dancing with the Stars next year.
There we go. So that was the,
And can we just talk about the pageantry of the championship game for a second here? Have you ever been to a championship parade in St. Louis? It's a small city. They go around twice. That shit is fire. And let me tell you something about Tacoma. Tacoma is not the most underrated place in the world. Yes, it's driving distance from Seattle if you're not drunk. That being said, I'm not surprised that, the bigger team with the bigger payroll took it this year.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, and I'm betting right now, record this so that we can go back and look at this. I bet you the Archers win it again next year. Let's go, baby.
All right. Well,
That's a bet.
arrow in your quiver.
That's a rye bet.
Oh.
Put that in your old fashioned and stir it up.
Oh. Well, let's stir it down for the standings. This is how it ended up. We had the Royals on top, Rattlers. We had the Eruption who went to the finals, the Archers who won the finals, or the championship. Then we had the Beach Voyagers, followed by the Mafia, Devils, Dragons, Typhoon, and the Roughnecks. As you can see over here, the teams that didn't make the playoffs this year were the Snow Devils, the Dragons, the Typhoons, and the Roughnecks. Everybody else did make the playoffs. So now, after we've kind of reviewed the names of the teams, were there any that stood out to you, Rye?
I just got to say, this reads like a who's who of Tier 2 metropolises. Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, Dallas, maybe, except you got a Houston and an Austin in the same place. Anchorage, have we ever had a team in Alaska? Not until today. Breaking ground. I got to say, Huffington Beach, no fucking idea where that is. That could be anywhere with a beach. Arizona, at least you got a fucking state named after you. Charlotte, there are professional teams in Charlotte. Still, they're kind of marginal city teams. All that being said, that's one of the most endearing aspects about the league. Where else can you watch a bunch of Snow Devils from Anchorage go 6-8?
Absolutely. Only
The Iditarod, maybe.
Oh, damn.
Let's go. I know winter sports.
That's some ice cold knowledge. And these are the perspectives on the league and the potential for how we finish this year. Maybe in a future episode, we'll be looking at what the schedule is for next year. So moving along, we're going to do a deep dive here on the two championship teams. First off, I'm going to just walk you through our first team, which are the St. Louis Archers. They had a pretty good offensive production. You can see from a issuance.
Yes, if you have your spectacles on and your calculator out, you can see they had good production. What was their QBR?
QBR was rated between 74 and 156.
And can you remind the viewers, how is QBR calculated?
QBR is a matriculation of a number of different algorithms whose output is sometimes linear. In the most sense, it's your offensive production in terms of passes, touchdowns, and the occasional quarterback 2-point conversion.
Times velocity.
Yes, underlined by time itself. So these are the stats for it, but let's take a look at the actual rosters. That's the wrong one. Oh, here.
Frozen.
All right, so here.
Oh, now we're back.
Here's the roster. You can see there's a lot of open space on this roster, as you're about to see, compared to the second team, the Tacoma Eruption. You see a number of veterans on the team, with Rebecca Montague coming in with the highest seniority with a year 7 quarterback. Can't say we yet know what the APE stands for, but she has a very high 1990. I think that's a pretty stellar,
average points enjoyed.
I think so.
She enjoys 1,990 points a game. Shout out to you, Rebecca.
Well, I think that would be the season-wide, maybe her career points enjoyed.
Average points ever?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
All points ever?
We've also got Biff Markham, shout out there, year 3, and, Herrick Denry, year 3, running back. Only other person's Brent Skoma with year 64. I don't know if y'all played the Elder Rings, but if you did play Morrowind, there was Skooma, and so he's missing an O, but sometimes you just know.
I thought you were talking about Elden Ring for a second, the Dark Souls RPG, which is I paid $70 for, but it was too hard. And let me just say, can we give out the name ball of this game to Namey McNamerson? Only been in the league 1 year. His average points ever is only 675. And at the same time as being subversive with his name, he's a combination of creative and uncreative simultaneously. In future interviews with this podcast, the NFL commissioner will call him helpful. So, Namey McNamerson, shout out to you. You're getting a simulated name ball.
Coming your way. And let's talk about
some great names on this team, I will say.
Yeah, there are some. Are there any?
You know what would be great? If somebody named their team name.
Chris Cross. Chris Cross.
Chris Cross. Gotta love Chris Cross. Jeff, did you ever wear your pants backwards?
No.
A little bit.
I've worn my shirt backwards, but that was unintentional.
You're not really crisscrossing it until you got your butt pockets on your front.
That's true.
Crisscross, baby. Main Dupree.
So coming out of this roster is going to be some additions. We expect, according to experts in association with us and confidential press, Ron Jolin, running back, coming out of ECU, going to be hopping on this team. What do you think?
Never heard of him.
Yeah, me neither. But Kenny Bombard, pretty good name.
Well, everybody knows Kenny.
Strong safety. I think that could add some addition in the second round. And Travis Vaughn coming in tight end. Oh, actually, Hendricks Harlow. Good villain name. Travis Vaughn and a pass are kind of the picks we see going this way for the St. Louis Archers. So we're going to move along to our next team. And
next time I'll study before that segment.
Okay.
For now, I would just like to say this. On the topic of Hendricks Harlow, I don't like Jack Harlow. I don't like Machine Gun Kelly either. To be skinny as fuck, wearing Meghan Merkel's blood around his neck.
Damn. Her own blood? Speaking of blood, we got in the red in a comparison between St. Louis and Tacoma. In the red, we've got the score over the past season. St. Louis threw down. Actually, Tacoma's doing better in that category.
As you can see, we've got a lot of statistics
But where you can see like the standout in performance between St. Louis and Tacoma is a difference in the third down percentage. There's about an 8-point difference over there.
It's very different.
Which runs in Tacoma's favor. So it was interesting that in the game, Tacoma in the championship threw down only around like a 33% third down completion rating, whereas
they really needed to have erupt on the third.
Yes.
And instead,
it became more of like
a dry cum.
Kind of like a molten.
They fizzled out.
It's known as a mudslide. It's in like Herculaneum or do you know like Pompeii?
Yes, of course.
So basically, the Mount Vesuvius erupted, and then it rained down this ash and shit on Pompeii. So it was like not like molten lava. It was more of like a mudslide. And there's this other city called Herculaneum that's even much more well preserved. That's the one my uncle recommended and took us to, and it was really cool to be a part of, seeing that shit.
Too bad it couldn't help him on third down though.
No, that's right. So let's take a look here at the roster of the Tacoma Eruption. They chose some interesting, bold colors. The top one, Tom Krieg. Look at that name. Sounds familiar. Wide receiver, year 7, oldest on the team, followed by Frederick Kaiser, the tight end from Germany.
Kaiser.
And
that better be tongue in cheek, bro. You about to get canceled.
Kobe Froby.
Kobe Froby sounds like an ice cream flavor.
Oh, David Koala.
He sounds like some fake ass names. Freddie Kaiser, you better not be making up candy names and stacking your roster. Different IP addresses.
But there are some notables here, but you can see this roster is significantly more filled. So they're looking at Jackson Storm in the 3rd round, an unaffiliated pick.
I will say they need some offensive line help.
They only got one OLB, Michael Brown.
That's outside linebacker. They're obviously no. Tight end, kinda. I doubt Kaiser is a blocking tight end. We better move on.
Okay. All right, and so that was So that was our coverage of the Tacoma Eruption and the St. Louis Archers, and we're going to move along to our interview with Caboose. Hey, and welcome to our first interview on USFAPN. It's we are here with the esteemed Caboose. Caboose, tell us who are you in the league, and how'd you get involved with it?
So I am the league founder, owner, all of the above, check all the boxes. But I originally got involved with the league by founding it 3 years ago with my partner Stax. We had another league that we were both in, and it wasn't filling the needs for us anymore. It wasn't doing. It wasn't a great league, all said and done. And so we took kind of what we liked from it, and we looked at some other leagues like the SFL, RFL, and took what we liked from those as well and kind of merged them all together into one concept.
What are the things about the USFA that make it different and unique from any other league out there?
I would have to say our free agency system. We use a restricted free agent system that I don't see too many other leagues use, as well as a contract system that is, I think, more immersive and more akin to real life football. There's dollar amounts being thrown around. Those dollar amounts you can use to buy certain things for your player, different upgrades. And it makes the whole free agent experience a little bit more meaningful and impactful than just say, I've got to cut attributes to fit under a value cap, like some other leagues.
Are there franchise tags?
We have looked into franchise tags. It's something we want to put in. So right now, not quite yet.
Players hate them.
We're working on it. Yeah, they do. So it's something that's kind of like players hate them. This is for fun, but it's part of football. So we kind of want to bring it in somehow or another.
If you could change the sport, would you just excuse me, if in like a simulated environment, because you have this modded
Hmm.
game where you have complete control of everything, and so you have the
Hmm.
opportunity to bring parity between what's happening in the real football world, or you can
Hmm.
create like in an environment that you would have the ability to make things unique to. Would you ever change the way in which football is played or the way in which it's experienced by a fan?
No, we want it to look and feel as close to real football as possible. We don't want it to be arcade style. It's part of the fun is looking like you're out there playing for an NFL team. Um, and obviously, they're not NFL teams; they're our own branded teams. But they're out there in the NFL stadiums, NFL fields, and we want that experience to be, hey, I wasn't able to get to that level, the NFL, which maybe I wanted to get to. I maybe
Me neither.
got to college, something like that, right? And you know, there's a lot of people that don't make the big leagues, and we want to give them that experience as close to as possible.
How'd you get the name Caboose?
Uh, it's a fun question. So I think I was 5 or 6, and back then my dad was in like this young adults group. He had guys over, uh, every other week or so. And back then, the original Xbox was the big thing, and Halo was the big game. So they'd bring all their TVs over, their Xboxes over. They'd play LAN parties for Halo. I got,
Loved
I
LAN
got,
parties.
dude, it was like 20 guys, 20, 25 guys on a LAN party. And I got to play with them one time, and they made me an account. Red versus Blue was huge at the time, so
That's right, Red
they called me
versus
Caboose.
Blue.
Yep,
The
I
Puma.
am Caboose, the vehicle
Oh,
destroyer.
I
Uh,
love it. And what's your favorite name in the league today?
Oh man, that's that's a great question. Man, I've got to think. I've really got to think. I actually almost have to pull up a list of names because there's so many good ones.
I I'm a big
Hold
fan of
on.
Namey McNamerson myself.
mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll let him know you said that.
Yeah.
I'll let him know you said
He
that.
might be our next
Uh,
guest.
Or young.
geriatric.
Oh, that's clever.
Young geriatric.
Goofy Goober. You know, some
Yeah,
alliteration
Goofy
there.
Goober's great. Let's see who else we got in here. Some of the like really stupid hard ones to pronounce, like Asulu Masulu Rusu on Dallas.
Mm.
Let's see. You get the ever so slightly recognizable names like, I don't know, Pack Drescott on Charlotte. Might be a reference to Dak Prescott. I don't know. Um, so yeah, there's so many fun ones out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to pick one.
Yeah. And I know over the past month there's been a lot of change that's come to the league. There's been
Hmm.
championship that just
Hmm.
came out with
Yep.
the Archers coming out on top. Did you find that was expected? What did you think about there?
I was I was a little surprised. So Charlotte had a 13-1 season, and they really dropped the ball. They came out flat in their conference championship game. So once Charlotte and Arizona kind of somehow or another fell off the boat, uh, I was expecting St. Louis, but I was expecting it to be a bit of a closer game. Tacoma was definitely not a bad team by any means.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But they, displayed, they got a touchdown and a field goal, so they got a little points on the
Hmm.
board. So
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I think, yeah, that was a good game. And so I'm kind of curious, like, as players kind of enter the league now
Mhm.
under like a new system in place. How do you feel that like the growth of a player will emerge? And did I understand correctly that you get to have an offensive and defensive player?
You do get to have an offensive and defensive player. So if you're new to our league and you're new to our collegiate partner league, the ECFL, we'll let you build, usually a defensive player, um, provided you go make your offensive player in the in the ECFL, and that'll change based on what positions we need at the moment. This year, we needed a lot of defense, so we were telling people, make your offensive player over in the ECFL, bring your defense weights. Will change that, but it's. I feel like I just totally lost track of the question. Um, could you
Yeah.
repeat it to me one more time? Sorry.
And don't worry, because your video kind of cut out. So I think, like, in summary,
Oh, okay.
it was perfect timing. So I think, like, in summary, like, where do you see players kind of planting their feet and staying with this league to make a career out of it? Like, what's like the driving
Okay.
forces here?
Okay. So we've got, obviously one of the better looking products out there. If you look at the SFL, they're moving backwards in terms of visuals with the move to 2K4. I know you
Garbage.
guys are. I agree. So we wanted to really capture that mistake and make it our game, because there's a lot of people out there that want to see leagues on the highest quality products, and there's no do what we do on 2K23 or on Madden 22. um it's there are no other leagues that ran on 2K22 that use completely custom teams, custom fields, custom stadiums. um and on top of that, we've really upped our presentations, our draft, our everything, um, to make it as immersive as possible. And on top of that, we don't charge like the SFL does. We won't cost you your kidneys. We'll charge you a cup of coffee from Starbucks once a month. So yeah, a lot of things that I think are going to, generally speaking, help us get an edge over other big football leagues and help people want to make this their main league.
Yeah, I've heard the SFL is primed to get hacked as well.
Probably is, yeah. Their websites aren't that secure.
And the NFL, I would say their product looks garbage compared to ours as well.
Yeah, well, that's another big thing, is we don't do any politics in our league. So all of the NFL fields and Madden, they all have, propaganda, things like that. Whether you agree with it or don't, totally your thing. Don't, that's not for me to judge. But, there's it shows in polling data from the NFL that people don't want to see propaganda in their, politics at all on either side in their sports, and we provide that. There's no politics whatsoever.
Hmm. It sounds like a healthy kind of type of environment to foster this long term growth.
Mhm.
I'm curious, like, what do you kind of measure success by? What's important to you for this league?
I think user enjoyment is the biggest thing. Um, there's the more we can grow, the more we can have people engaging and having fun. That's more of a success to me than anything else. Uh, everything else is pretty secondary.
Hmm. And speaking of secondary, there are those individuals that stand out from the pack and come into first. If you had to, like, shout out some names right now, who might you say are some leaders in the league?
I mean, I would have to shout out the other two guys on my admin crew, Stacks and First Ray, who have been doing phenomenal work for me. Uh, First Ray single-handedly built our updating pages and coded all of it, and has been super phenomenal in that regard. Stacks has run every single stream, every single game by himself for 7 seasons now. Um, he's been the only one who's been able to stream. So for 3 years, he's done every single game. And then other guys, I mean, some of our long-term guys like Turts, who his player is the Name McNamerson that you so enjoy.
Shout out.
But he's been here since the start, and He's been here since the start. He's had a few rule changes encouraged. We'll put it that way, and yeah, he's been a pretty positive influence on the league as a whole.
Well,
I'd say those are probably my top three guys.
Well, shout out to them and shout out to you coming on the show. I have one last question for you before we close it out, and that is, where do you see the USFA 5 years from now?
5 years from now, man, I'd love to have somewhere between 20 and 30 teams, kind of like the SFL does right now. I'd love to see our user base skyrocket up into the 800-900 mark, and I'd love to see just a group of really diverse, awesome people having a blast in a football league and living out their pro dreams in a way that they couldn't have in real life.
Excellent. What a great vision to have and to hold. And we appreciate you hopping on. And until the next time, Caboose, it's been real.
Have a good one.
And we're back from our interview with Caboose.
Damn, that was great.
Yeah, that was so sick to have the commissioner on for the first episode. So sweet. Rye, do you have any closing thoughts to stir in the whiskey?
No.
Okay. Well, we're closing it out. See you all in the next one.